James Bible. I'm originally from Oklahoma. I've been residing on the reservation since 2008. I'm a graduate of SKC in 2013, and I received my master's in business from the University of Montana in 2016. In the main concept, we provide technical assistance to entrepreneurs and anyone with an idea to start a business. We take them from A to Z, from their idea to full fruition and operations, and eventually applying for capital to fund your business and operations. So the room we're sitting in is our incubator room. We call it our incubator room because it's where you build ideas as an entrepreneur, where you come, sit at a desk, computer, have something visual inside, and you're able to complete your operations in this business. You have a printer, you have access to a phone, you have access to a safe, you have access to our Wi-Fi, and you're on camera and surveillance for your safety and ours. So we help a lot of our entrepreneurs with funding, whether that be through the state or through our office next door, which is Sovereign Leasing. Sovereign Leasing provides capital for our entrepreneurs to develop their business and gain capital away from your traditional banking style of funding. The NABA grant and the IEF grant are vital to our operations. The NABA grant through the state and the IEF grant through the state allow us to provide technical assistance, training classes, and overall capital to our entrepreneurs who are wanting to bring their idea to fruition. Right now we're still in our final stages of selecting our recipients, but we have 4 narrowed down that may receive the End in Equity Fund this year. 2 are full amounts in the $14,000. One is 50% at $7,000, and one is at 30%, which is at $1,500. Here on the compound, we rent this office out, or the incubator room, to those who can provide. It's a pay-as-you-can, depending on their financials, their situation, their business, whether if they're just starting up. So we'll do an in-kind match if they're just starting up for the incubator room. But if not, where they can rent out for half a day, a full day, maybe 2 or 3 days out of the week. Just we ask that you not take up the full 7 days or the 5 days of the work week. But as of now, we operate a self-storage program or self-storage unit right outside this window here, and we're actually doing construction to expand from 162 units to 251 units. What Sovereign Leasing does on the left side of the building is we issue leases and loans. The leases are primarily to CSKT departments. The loans are to individuals looking to run their capital through us instead of your traditional bank. Some of my ideas here to bring in capital for tribal members and businesses is through SNK Self-Storage is our expansion, Sovereign Leasing, leasing the loans. But more importantly, we have a Boulder hydropower plant, what operates green energy, eco-friendly energy, and we run about $50,000 worth of revenue per year through that hydropower plant. It's a revolving loan fund through the state of Montana. So with the USDA fund, it'll help us apply for a loan up to $750,000 or $500,000 at a 1% interest rate. And then we take the funds, we loan it out as capital at our interest rate, which is prime plus 1. And that is the lowest interest rate you'll get during these times as an entrepreneur away from your traditional banking. State Small Business Credit Initiative. What we're looking at running through there is the same process of revolving loan fund that we will be able to issue or run technical assistance out of our office for in order for our entrepreneurs to secure capital. My role with the Workforce Economic Enhancement Coalition is to bring individuals together across the reservation, talk about ongoing issues and talk about successes and what we can do to implement economic development across the reservation, whether we're gaining knowledge from the Economic Development Department at CSKT, Eagle Bank, Mission West. We all come together, form a coalition, talk about issues, talk about concerns, and what we need to do to move forward to create economic development reservation-wide, Lake County-wide. Our meetings are bi-monthly, normally in the middle of the month, through Zoom at the moment. We haven't found a successful area to meet with our capacity, and Zoom just works better. We meet bi-monthly. I run the meetings out of the office, and they normally take 2 to 3 hours to complete, depending on the information provided by the clients, or the information provided by the different programs across the reservation. The program I initiated, or the pilot program in mind, was to take tribal members across the reservation, or maybe just one community at the moment, but to teach them business, work ethic, and overall business knowledge for them to pinpoint either their career, pinpoint their work path, and combine all that around business concept, business ethics, how to dress, how to interview, how to have proper body language in their interview, body language out in the community, body language in school, at home, and to bring that all in and roll that all into one for them to have a successful career 10, 20, 30 years down the road, whether that be working for SKC, creating their own business, or working for one of the many industries we have on the reservation. Our corporate structure here at SK Business Services and Sovereign Leasing, operations is 3 people. We have myself, we have Lisa Stinger, she's the office manager and SNK self-storage manager. We have Sarah Sandoval, she is the business specialist, and she is the person entrepreneurs meet with when they need to schedule their first initial meeting. Above them, we are operating and ran and guided by a board of directors, 5 board members. So the board members provide oversight of the operations on behalf of the shareholder. A few success stories over the past year that we've had in office. The big one, the one we are really proud about in the office, is we partnered with Red Wing LLC, who is a nonprofit from Oklahoma. We were able to provide a 2-day seminar for 18 tribal member entrepreneurs on the reservation over a span of 2 days. In the seminar, we covered business operations to applying for capital, either through your general bank or your regular banking structure, or us here at Sovereign Leasing, or through grant funds such as IEF and the NABA grant. Through that seminar, we were able to provide funding for 3 businesses 2 weeks after the seminar, and the seminar was held August 14th and 15th at the Quatucknook Resort. Of those 3 businesses, 2 are construction companies, and 1 makes small beaded lanyards for the local community. Those beaded lanyards are used for horses. So what this guy makes is he makes bridles and spurs. He makes them custom for that horse. So his business concept was, you can buy your wife a ring, you can buy your wife custom jewelry made by your local artist. Why not do it for your horse? And since there's ranchers here, that was his main concept. The steps for an entrepreneur, tribal member who has an idea, doesn't even have to be on paper, in their mind. It was an idea for a business on the reservation, or even off the reservation in some instances. They would make their first initial appointment either with myself, James Bible, in the office, or Sarah Sandoval, who is our business specialist within the office. And that gets your first initial meeting out of the way. It gets your idea down on paper and gives it some substance. And then from there, we will take your idea and help you with classes, one-on-one training, technical assistance, whether you need access to a computer or phone, able to apply for licensing to get your business off the ground, set up an online bank account. You will go from A to Z, from your idea to capital funding or fruition, and then you're into operations. Yes, as an entrepreneur, you can take meetings in our incubator room with your clients, and even the entrepreneurs we help. We hold our Zoom classes in here. So that all wraps into clients being able to meet with their clients to generate revenue, to generate operational funding or capital for their business right here in this room. A straightforward relationship with the Economic Development Administration, either at the state level, federal level, even local level. Our representative is highly involved with us, and with that involvement, we are required to do a 5-year strategic plan called the SEDS report. The strategic plan is the SEDS, the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. What's in the SEDS is the overall outlook and oversight for 5 years of economic development on the reservation. And that consists of every program you may think about on the reservation, small in school or reservation-wide what the EDO department at CSKT works on daily, and tribal council. So all of that wraps into this strategic plan, and we try to make it come to fruition and the reservation for membership and the local governments. The general age of our clientele that we see come through our door is around the age of 29, 33. That is the primary age range. They're ready to start their business. They've either worked for somebody and they don't like it, and it's time for them to be their own boss. And that is around the age we see walk through our door. But there are instances we have 5 people, previous clients that are under the age of 18, and these clients have applied for those grants, the Indian Equity Fund, the NABA grant, the ARPA funds that were 2 years ago. These individuals were below the age of 18, but that doesn't say you can't do it. They just had their adult or their representative with them to apply on the application with them. And then these were 16 and 17-year-olds wanting to be entrepreneurs already. And then we have one success story. She was 17 when she applied for the ARPA funds, which was 2 years ago, going on 3 years ago. She applied for the Indian Equity Fund twice, did not receive it the first go around, but she is a primary candidate for this year's Indian Equity Fund. So within the span of her initially filing for funding or for our services, she was 17, and now she's 21, and she's already operating at a small level of doing hairstyle and makeup for individuals across the reservation. But with the Indian Equity Fund and what that'll do for her, it will allow her to have a brick and mortar located in one of the local towns on the reservation. But it's very exciting to see the overall, progression of this 17-year-old who was almost 18, went to cosmetology school, high school dropout, wanted to be a cosmetologist, went and did it, come back and ready to operate a full-scale, salon who does hair, nails, makeup, overall operations, renting booths out.